Beverly Hills Cop 3 came out 30 long years ago. And just recently on Netflix, we've had Beverly Hills Cop AXEL F, the fourth installment in this once dead franchise. Eddie Murphy returning to the role that, well, his biggest franchise role. Has that 30 years been kind to Eddie Murphy? Is the franchise better left dead? We're going to find out in my review here and now. Let's do it. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to my review for Beverly Hills Cop AXEL F. Yes, this new fourth installment in the franchise. 30 years is a long time, and it seems now that we're always harking back to the 80s to find something to bring back to life. And yes, unfortunately dropped on Netflix, not given a theatrical release or anything of the like. But does that detract from the film? Who knows? The film's rated R. It runs for 1 hour and 58 minutes and is directed by Mark Malloy, who has nothing of worth to speak about with regards to directing credits at this stage. And the film sees obviously the return of Eddie Murphy in the title character, AXEL Foley. He's joined by Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing a police detective, Taylor Page Jane as his daughter, Judge Reinhold returns as Billy, John Ashton as Taggart, now a police chief, Paul Reiser, Bronson Pincknott returns as Surge, and we have Kevin Bacon in play as well as Captain Cade Grant. No points for guessing what Kevin Bacon plays in this film. It's pretty obvious, really. The villain. Yeah, so anyway, as this film opens, we catch up with AXEL Foley. He's now working in Detroit as a police officer. He's doing the same thing. He's pretty much the same as he was 30 damn years ago. Anyway, his daughter has grown up, and she's during the off-screen time, he's had a daughter grown up, estranged, this sort of a thing, and his daughter is a lawyer, and she wants to defend this individual, but she gets into a bit of trouble with it. She has her life threatened, and thusly Eddie Murphy has to leave Detroit and go to Beverly Hills to help save her. Billy Rosewood is now a private investigator, and he's gone missing. We see him at the beginning of the film. He's in sort of cahoots with the daughter of Eddie Murphy's character, and he goes missing. And we have Taggart, who's now a police chief, looking very aged, and we go on this journey of AXEL trying to find the people who's threatening the life of his daughter and uncovering a conspiracy deep within the police department, which is where obviously Kevin Bacon comes into play, because he's the villain, and why not? Yeah, so you've got a lot of big stars in this film, with Kevin Bacon joining proceedings and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But is the film any good? And this is where, for me, and I say for me because some people might have a lot of enjoyment from this movie. Unfortunately, at 2 hours, I found it to be a struggle, a slog. I found it to be somewhat boring. Revisiting the character of AXEL Foley. Okay, the third film was somewhat lackluster. Does this film do it any favours? Not from my perspective. It feels like I am watching a film from the late 1990s. And I don't mean that in a good way. Sometimes it's good to have a film that feels like it's of old, but not in this case. It feels like the character of AXEL Foley hasn't moved forward at all. He's in exactly the same place he was 30 years ago, which luckily for Eddie Murphy, because he looks pretty much the same as he did 30 damn years ago, with the exception of a little bit of weight. No, he looks pretty damn good, actually. A bit of a personal take here, but Christ almighty, Judge Reinhold, what's he done to his face? What's he done to his face with the plastic surgery? He looks pretty damn awful. And yeah, it's not good what he's done. So the film offers up all these characters returning. You know, every one of them from the previous films. And the major problem I have with this film is, yeah, the character of Axel Foley. Although it's nice to see him again, I suppose, and revisit him, there's been no change to him whatsoever at all in what he's doing, what he does, you know. And it's like everyone applauds him or lords over him for what he does, the trouble that he causes. It doesn't matter how much destruction, city property, whatever he causes, it's laughed off pretty much. And that's one of the big problems I have with the film as well. The story is tired. The story is nothing new. It offers nothing new. This film offers up nothing new whatsoever. And again, therein lies a problem with the movie. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm just watching a fourth installment, exactly the same as what we got 30 years ago, just on a lesser scale. For the directing isn't bad. I can't knock the directing. The film looks okay. It feels okay. It's got some okay-ish action sequences. Nothing over the top. Nothing that moves it forward in regards to what it's trying to do. We have a couple of little kart chases which are stupid beyond hell. Much, you know, it reminded me a lot of Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny, that sort of a thing. And we have two of them in the film. Two. I put up two fingers. Two of them. Two different little kart moments, which, you know, once, okay, enough. But yeah, so the returning characters, it all feels very forced, especially when you start getting someone like Bronson Pinchot back into the film for a bit. It just feels like, you know, we really are forcing these characters in for the purposes of nostalgia. But what we're left with is revisiting a film franchise that died 30 years ago, trying to pump some life back into it and failing miserably. Hopefully this is the last Beverly Hills Cop film, unless they want to give us something fresh and new.